Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 27 of the Couch Co-op podcast. I'm Riley, joined by Cal as always. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. It's a pretty light week in terms of drama and stuff like that, but in my opinion, that's always a good thing. But we do have a few things. Nothing too major, but we have an update on Modern Warfare 3. Is that right? People aren't too happy with the game.
So, everything I've seen so far, and I've tried to stay away from it just because it makes me mad, is the campaign is terrible. I mean, I think you showed me on your stream the other day just how many people had made videos like MW3 campaign is horrible, is terrible, and that's like all you saw was negative. And the game, it's not even out yet, is it? Doesn't it come out on the 10th?
Yeah,
Maybe I'm,
like the point is that it's in campaign early access right now. So
yeah.
people have access to the campaign and people are crapping all over it. Like there's this clip of Dr. Disrespect going around trying to play the campaign, but he couldn't. Like he would be in the menu of the game and he would press play and then he would say, "Okay, proceed." He presses proceed and then it reroutes him back to the menu. He presses play again. He has to press proceed again. He goes back to the menu. It's over and over again. And yeah, he has a full like 10-minute video of him trying to play the game, but he never gets to it. And then some people are even having like a message pop up saying you need Modern Warfare 2 to buy this or something like that, which is like even more confirmation that this entire game was supposed to be DLC and not its own game. So
They forgot to pull that line of code out of there. They're like, "Oh crap! Everyone knows now. It's been confirmed to everybody that it's just a DLC, even though we all knew it already."
mhm.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. Like the concept of an early access campaign. Like the campaign is what you used to buy Call of Duty for, and multiplayer too. But you wanted to play the campaign, like Black Ops, Black Ops 2, original Modern Warfare.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but the idea, like just the words coming out of your mouth when you said early access campaign, just had it made me gag a little bit because it's just more incentive to pre-order and buy the bigger editions. The
Mhm.
what do they call it? The Prestige edition or the Vault edition.
Yeah.
That's $90 and you get a couple of skins.
Mhm.
I just you know don't buy it. Like I hope, you know, there's the meme, and we talked about what Ninja said a couple of weeks ago. You pour what do you say? You pour abused Call of Duty players or something like that. Like
Mhm.
you're gonna fall for it. You're gonna be like, oh, this it'll be different this time. Like they totally fixed the game, and yeah, and he was 100% right. I mean, people didn't like it because he came off as an a-hole, which he does sometimes, but he was 100% right. And yeah, I just yeah,
Yeah, so
I
yeah,
don't know. I
people
don't know
are
what else to
very
say about it.
yeah. I've been watching some gameplay of people play through it, and it's just mediocre, man. Like they used, I'm pretty sure they reused Verdansk again as like the main playable space for it. So, I mean, some people are happy about that, of course, because it's been gone for years now, but um, I don't know, man. That whole game is just like recycled. Like people made jokes about like recycled Ops 4 or recycled Ops Cold War, but this game, dude, is just it's recycling to the max. Like man, what come on. What did Dwight dress up as on Earth Day? That is like
Recyclops.
yeah, Recyclops. Yeah, this game is the gamification of Recyclops, I think. But yeah, so um, yeah, people aren't taking too kind of. I guess the storyline kind of sucks. Like, I guess these like new like rebooted Modern Warfare games are kind of getting worse and worse in terms of story. I heard that the 2019 reboot, the original, was okay, and then Modern Warfare 2 campaign had okay gameplay. But the story didn't make a lot of sense, and then this one, everything sucks. So that's kind of the consensus on it.
Yeah, I tried. and I still haven't done it recently because I had it on PS4, I believe. I tried to play through the campaign for 2019, and it was okay. You know, it was just another Call of Duty, but it wasn't great. It wasn't, you know, I think what we're gaining in like skins and if that's actually gaining anything
Yeah.
for Call of Duty people, we're losing in the campaigns. Like think of, I mean, what to you is the best? I'll say mine after you, but what to you is the best Call of Duty campaign
COD 4.
you could think of? What? Sorry.
COD 4 or Modern Warfare
Oh,
Remastered.
yeah.
When I
That one
played
was
it.
awesome. To me, it's Black Ops. Like
Hmm.
whenever I play through it, I just get chills, man. Like the Black Ops campaign was so good. You know, the whole Mason storyline, and
Yeah.
at the very end when it shows, spoiler alert if you haven't played uh, Black Ops campaign at this point, but when it shows President Kennedy, and he's like going through this, he's talking about the round he's going to use, and knowing like the history of President Kennedy, how he was shot and everything, just chills, man. Like so good. And then you play this. Like I played 2019. It was just like I was so bored. Like I was trying to get through it because I was considering making like a video, like talking about if it was even worth playing the old ones before getting the new one. Just and I never got around to it because it was so boring. Like there's just
Hmm.
no content. There's nothing to talk about. It's just terrible.
Yeah. I think the Modern Warfare games especially have a problem with just being like they're like the McDonald's of gaming right now is what Call of Duty is. It's just the same things that people are familiar with. It's like they're kind of like Steven Seagal movies. They're like they do this literally the same like storyline over and over again. Oh, there's a missile below this big city. Let's go defuse it. Oh, now there's a missile in like Russia. Let's go get it. Oh, and now this bad guy we captured is missing. Let's go get him.
I'll kill him with my hands, my bare hands.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw, speaking of him, I saw a clip of him doing is it keto? I don't know what it was, some form of martial art. And it just looked so, yeah, it just looked so fake. It like or maybe it was more like judo. He like threw a guy to the ground, but it just looked so staged. Like it was just like, but he was supposed to be competing. It looked like he was competing in like a tournament. And it was just like, dude, g- just go away. Like nobody likes you. I can talk a long time about Steven Seagal. I shouldn't, but
Yeah.
anyways, another a topic for another day. We should do an in-depth we should do an in-depth video on Steven Seagal.
Oh
I
my
think that would
god.
be
You know what we
great
should
fun.
do? If we ever like meet up for an extended period of time, we should sit down and watch a Steven Seagal movie and point out all of the
Yes.
bad things in it. Or like look up what is the worst rated Steven Seagal movie and just put it on and tear it apart.
I'm curious just because you said it. I gotta check.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean to sum it all up, unless you have more to say, MW3 is exactly what we knew it would be. It's a recycled, reskinned game. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They put absolutely no effort into coming up with a new anything for it.
Yeah.
From what I understand, maybe I'm wrong. The story it's new because it's in the new the new Call of Duty universe after Black Ops 4, but it's basically the same thing. It just I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, worst Steven Seagal movie. Hang on, give me just a sec. Let me find it. On Deadly Ground is the number one worst Steven Seagal movie according to Flick Chart.
Huh, okay.
So we'll have to, we should watch it.
Yeah, my um this store that I get my Blu-rays from always has a plethora of Steven Seagal movies in there because no one buys them and everyone like returns them.
You know what's funny is as a kid I remember watching him because my dad would watch him because my dad just likes action movies. It doesn't matter if they're good or not. He just wants to watch an action movie. And
Yeah.
I remember watching him and I remember just thinking he was like the coolest guy, And as a kid I remember just thinking like, man, he's so cool. And then as you mature, you realize just how goofy he is. Like his whole shtick. He just, yeah. Anyways, we need to do a deep dive on Steven Seagal. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, MW3 dumpster fire. Anyways, on to more drama. Mr. Beast uploaded a new video yesterday, so I'm sure there will be three more people claiming they were cheated or Mr. Beast is a terrible person. And you know the best thing about this video is Mr. Beast. Did you see it? Do you know what the video is?
I know what it is. I didn't watch it though.
Okay, okay, I didn't watch it either, but I saw I saw the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast drilled 100 wells in Africa, which is like if you talk about like problems in the world, you know, people in Africa not having water is one of the biggest problems people will probably recite. So I'm just waiting to see how people will have a problem with this latest Mr. Beast endeavor.
Yeah. Well, like that's not even all of the Mr. Beast drama this week. Actually, when I typed that, I was talking about something else. I meant to type that also, but he. Okay. Before we go on to that, though, the whole well thing is like it. It's just like the curing blind people drama from like a few months ago. I Once you get to a certain level of success, no matter how good you are or what good you do, people will always hate you because they're not where that famous person is.
I think it's hate, and I think it's also, I mean, it's the definition of jealousy. It's like actually like being so jealous that you aren't the one doing that. And you know, there's been a discussion for years about like YouTube philanthropy. I can talk right now. Of like if you do something good, but you are recording yourself doing it and you're making money off the video, are you really doing something good? Yes, you are. Are you making money doing it? Yes, you are. There's a lot of people, you know, people that run nonprofit charities. It's not nonprofit. Like the people at the top are making millions of dollars to do it, and there's paid people in nonprofit charities. It's not really nonprofit. It's a dumb name. But, you know, same with Mr. Beast. You know, like you said, you get to a certain level of fame and it doesn't matter what you do. And he literally cured blind people and drilled wells in Africa, and people still have a problem with him because he's making money, because he's not actually like being he's not actually, you know, being I can't say the word.
Philanthropic?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
You know, he's not actually being that because he's making money off of it.
Yeah.
But you know, and sorry, I'm talking a lot this episode, but you know, it's a dumb argument because it's like, okay, take Mr. Beast away. You know, there's 1,000 blind people that don't see, and there's 100 less wells in Africa. You know, there's people that die because they don't have water. Like, I don't know. The argument to me is stupid.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, beyond that, he's been engulfed in some other drama, which I believe is also just dumbfounded. People. So he went on a podcast recently, and he was talking about what he wants in like a woman, like a girlfriend, and he's like, "Yeah, I want someone who has goals, hobbies, who like can take care of herself." Like, I would think most men have that like opinion, or even women have that opinion of men that they want a partner. Well, he got flack for that, and a bunch of people were saying, "Oh, he's asking too much. He's too demanding." It's just, man, I don't know what to say to that, man. It's just
He could literally be the representation of Jesus Christ. He could be walking on water, healing the blind, which I mean he kind of did, you know, curing the sick, you know, all the things that, you know, Jesus Christ did in the Bible, and people would still hate him. You know, it's the closest thing. Not, I mean, it's a bad comparison because obviously he's not Jesus Christ, but it's the closest thing I can think of off the top of my head is to somebody being Christ-like, if you want to talk about it like that. Literally giving away everything, curing the blind, doing whatever he can, and people still hate him. And it just goes to show that people hate people who are more successful than them, and it's a clout chase, and that's all the internet is,
yeah,
for the most part.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it was the same. I think it might have been the same video that you're talking about, but I saw that he was kind of, it was almost like he was, oh, no. This was for his actual girlfriend. But she was talking about how he was like asking her, he just asked her a lot of questions on their first couple of dates. And it's because he was trying to weed out the ones that just wanted to get close to him for his money. And like he asked her all these questions, and come to find out, she didn't really know who he was, or she wasn't super familiar with what he had done so far, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, and that's something that's hard, I think, for popular people is getting close relationships with people because you never know if they just want your money.
Hmm.
So yeah, I Mr. Beast could literally cure the blind, which he did, and people would hate him. So
Yeah.
ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything more about that?
Not really, no. Okay, I have a question.
All right.
Um, what is your favorite time of the year, like a season, and what is your favorite thing to do during that season?
So my favorite season has always been, and it's not because of Christmas, is the fall into winter season.
Hmm.
I hate hot weather.
Yeah.
And I live in a really hot place, which is stupid, but I hate it, man. And so like by the end of the summer, these gigantic, power bills and like trying to keep the house cool, and even though it's not cool, and no, it's so relieving to me to go out to be able to open my door, and you can probably relate because I know where you are, it's hot too. To open your door and not have just this heat wave just hit you, and like you just turn around and go back inside. Like it's nice to go outside and be outside and sit and not just be hot and feel your skin burning. Well, I would say my favorite thing to do in this season is not snowboarding anymore. I used to snowboard a lot, but just like sledding when if it snows, which it
Hmm.
does rarely here. So,
Yeah.
but me and my friends and my family, we would always go up into the mountains and just like sled and get like big tire inner tubes,
Hmm.
those big yeah, the big tire inner tubes, and we would inflate them and just slide down the hills in those. So,
Gotcha.
what
Have
about
you
you?
ever tried skiing before?
I used to ski. So I skied up till I was about 14, 15, and then I wanted to be one of the cool kids and I started snowboarding.
Hmm.
And so I have done both. I feel like skiing makes more sense, but snowboarding is like cooler if you
Yeah.
care about that.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
about you?
Um, yeah, I'd have to say the pretty much the same thing around the winter. Growing up in the cold state of Washington, I've always been more used to that kind of weather. And when I moved down here to Arizona, man, it was just just talking about the weather. It was terrible. Like the change was completely terrible. Like for the first 2 years, I could not like stay outside for more than maybe an hour, and before having to go back inside because like you step out from your air conditioned house and it just smells bad because it feels like the earth is like sweating and you're inhaling all of the sweat, heavy hot air into you, and it's disgusting. So that's mostly talking about the summers, but I mean really any time of the year here is too hot. So um but yeah, the winter for
Just
sure.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, adding on to that real quick, and if nobody has experienced it, like walking outside and smelling the tar on the asphalt, just what you said, smelling the weather or whatever. That's what it reminded me of. Is like when it's so hot that like the materials they put in the road is like melting and you can smell it. Yeah, it's too hot. But
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. But yeah, definitely the winter. Some of my favorite memories from like the past year or two before I moved here, um, were just like walking my dog out in the rain because the house that my mom had was right next to a trailhead in a small town, so it was a nice place to go walk around. And I would take the dog out a few times a day, and sometimes I would like take him out at night when it would snow, and like it is something different. Like there's just something like ethereal about being outside, walking around in the snow. There's zero cars, zero people. It's dead silent. There's a few clouds, but the stars are in the sky and everything is covered in snow. It's just one of my favorite memories ever is walking my dog around there during the night, like at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. That was awesome. But um, yeah, I've always loved the rain. That's like my favorite weather really. Like when you get like some rain clouds off in the distance and you can see the sun peeking through them, and then it's just rain, but it's not raining where you are standing, but like the blades of grass have like droplets of water, and it's like shimmering off of the blades of grass. It's just so awesome, man. I cannot wait to go back there. But yeah, yeah. I mean the winter. Yeah, I would just say like just having a stroll or taking my dog for a walk when he was around. Definitely was my favorite thing to do during the winter. I think that's about like all I did, to be honest. I was a single child and my parents worked a lot, so we never really had much to do or didn't have much money or time to like go out and like go to the mountains and try snowboarding or whatever. Right? It was pretty much just racing cars, mostly. But that was during the like spring and summer months. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And real quick to round it off, just with my thoughts. I think I like the end of the year too because it's like it feels like if you think of the year as a day, it feels like the evening. It's like the end of the day and it's all the craziness is over. You're really just kind of spending time with family, just spending time, doing the things you want
Hmm.
around Thanksgiving and Christmas. It just feels like good to me to like close out a year and then start into the next year. I don't know. It's weird, I guess, but that's how I feel about it. It just feels like starting over. I don't know.
Yeah.
New year, new me. Start all my resolutions that I never keep up with. So, like doing a cartwheel.
Yeah.
But yeah. So,
What else have we got?
I see here you have. So I'm going to ask you, what was your earliest school memory?
So, um, there was, yeah, this is, I'm just gonna kind of morph a few of them because they're kind of short. Back in kindergarten, so this was when I was like 5 or 6. That's about the age you go into kindergarten, I think.
Yeah.
I remember one time, and I don't know how this happened or why it happened, but so in the kindergarten classroom at the school that I went to, it was a small school. It's the same one that my buddy of mine pooped in front of, and it was really old and just like a single building, like a single kind of tall building. So, yeah, the kindergarten classroom had like a bathroom attached to it, so that the kids wouldn't go wandering around in the hallways trying to find the bathroom. So, yeah, I went to the bathroom like a little bit before recess, and I go in there. I'm on the can. I hear everyone start to leave. I go to try to open the door, and it's locked. And I'm like, "Hey, let me out of here!" And
No.
then, and then, like like 15 minutes later or whatever, they come back and open it up for me. Like, "Oh, there you are." Like, yeah, I was locked in the bathroom the entire time while you guys were having a good time at recess. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, I was like let out there just to kind of run around on my own. But yeah. Other than that, what else was there? There was. I should have written them all down. Now I've completely lost the plot. Oh yeah, one of them, one like stupid thing. I don't know why I got like freaked out by these, but there were like these shoes called Romeos. I'm sure you know what those are.
I don't.
Uh, Look them
Look
up.
them
You
up.
you'll yeah, you'll probably recognize them. Uh yeah, well like this one kid had on like a massive pair of Romeos, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just started crying. I don't know why. I was like afraid of the shoes or something, and so so yeah, I just kind of like ran to my mom who was volunteering for the day, like, oh my God, look at that kid's shoes. They're so scary, and yeah, it was stupid, but I remember that. Another one. This one was in fifth grade, but still, it was a long time ago. For like one of the last days of fifth grade before you go on to middle school, they had this like I forget what you call it, but they basically have a bunch of like activities set up throughout the whole school. Like there's some in classrooms, and then there's some in the front, like a tug of war rope, for example, or like a reading camp or something. The main part was the tug of war rope thing, because that was super fun, man. And like ever since then, I've wanted to do it again because I don't know. I just had so much fun trying to like take other people down and keep my team up. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of my earlier school memories. So
Yeah. So I feel like kind of like you, I have just it's a big jumble of I don't even remember kindergarten. I remember first grade is my earliest, real memories I can think of. So that'd be like 6 or 7. I can't remember much before that. There's probably a reason I probably hit my head or something. Um, because we didn't really wear helmets back then. But I, as you presented the question, I was thinking the earliest I can remember is my teacher. She set up around the top of the wall slash ceiling, like at the very top. She had numbers from 1 to 100 going around the entire room,
mhm.
and I remember like thinking it was so crazy that the one went, and it went all the way around and it ended at 100. But she did this challenge to us, and I remember thinking it was so hard. And I remember me and my little friends, we were just like, oh my, oh no, like we can't, oh, we can't do that. And the challenge was to count to 100 using tens, but we couldn't like look up. We had to like just like stay looking down,
Uh-huh.
which I, I mean, it would have been really easy to look up. But as a first grader, you were like, oh, I can't break the rules. Like she'll see me, or like and I remember thinking it was the coolest thing because there was this candy bar, and I had never seen one before, and it was 100 grand. And I just remember thinking that was the coolest thing, and everyone that did it would get 100 grand.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just remember me and my friends thinking like, "Oh man, this is so hard. Like I can't do it. I can't do it." And it's just, I mean, it's how you learn. You just learn little things. It's like building a wall or whatever. You put all these rocks up, and you build a wall eventually. But but yeah, that's probably my earliest. I just remember being so demotivated, like so not depressed, but just so like sad because I knew I wouldn't be able to do it, and I wanted 100 grand. I didn't even know what it was, and I ended up doing it, and I was so proud of myself. And I remember
Mhm.
going home telling my mom, and she's like, "Wow, good job! You counted to 100 by tens." But but I would say that one, and then this I won't say names. There was this girl, poor girl, because she, for whatever reason, she really liked me, and even into high school. It's funny because I don't ever get on Facebook, and I remember a couple weeks ago I got on Facebook, and I just saw my messages, and I was just kind of going through them just to see, and there was a message from this girl, and or no, sorry, it wasn't a message. She had posted just on my page, and it said, "I love you," and I replied, "I love you back," and I don't remember saying that, and it was when we were like 15 or 16. So she really liked me like all the way through elementary school up into high school,
Mhm.
because small town, so we were in the same grade the whole way through. And I just remember she would chase me around and try to kiss me. And I remember just being horrified that she would actually catch me, and all my friends would see it, and they would all, and it was a big thing, and they would all tease me. They would be like, "She likes you, she likes you, she's gonna kiss you," and they would do the K I,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say names, but sitting in a tree, KISSING, and just being horrified, man. Like it was like the most horrifying thing. And I remember holding on to that for a long time, like even through, going into higher grades, like just thinking like it was always in the back of my mind, like, oh, girls are scary, like, and all these things. I don't know why. I don't know why it stuck with me, but yeah, that's probably my most memorable moments I remember is just being horrified that this girl was trying to kiss me, and running as fast as I could. And luckily, I was a fast little guy. And yeah, I also remember this one Halloween party, and we played pin the wart on the witch.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why I remember that, but it was just this little round thing, and you had to put it on her nose.
Uh-huh.
but not a lot. But I just, I remember little bits and pieces like that, and I don't even know why those. It's weird to me. Not to get too off topic here, but have you ever asked someone like, "Oh, dude, do you remember this?" And they're like, "No,
Hmm.
I don't." And so it's fascinating to me how certain people remember certain things, and like you will just remember it vividly. Like I remembered running vividly, like I was out of breath because she just kept on chasing me, and I was just running and running and running, and I remember vividly just like, and maybe it was like a traumatizing moment in my past. I don't know, but yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah,
off
that
topic.
like that
But
story
yeah,
kind of reminds me of one of my good friends growing up. He would in pretty much all throughout elementary school, he would chase girls around the playground with his arms out, and then he would make airplane noises as he was chasing them. And yeah, this was the same kid that I actually went. I actually went to a friendship counseling. Yeah, with I don't remember why. I really don't. Um, yeah, I don't know, but we're still friends to this day, so I
it
guess it
must have
worked.
worked.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that's fun though. It was fun to think back on that. Any viewers, if you feel like sharing, we'd love to see comments. What's your earliest childhood memory?
Yeah, definitely.
Earliest school memory, I guess it was.
Mm.
So, but yeah. What else you got for us?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about Marvel a bit, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's kind of in shambles right now. So just to kind of lay it out, there was this Variety article that came out from like some whistleblowers or something, and they were talking about how Marvel was recently at one of their like annual retreats with their the top dogs and Kevin Feige, and they were talking about how they want to essentially make everything that happened in the last Avengers movie irrelevant. They want to bring back Iron Man. They want to resurrect the original six Avengers and just use them for whatever. Whether it's a multiverse story or like an actual Avengers movie, I don't know. We don't know that, but
It sorry, let me
yeah.
it's because they see the massive success that Call of Duty is having, just remaking all their content, and they want to get in on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But sorry, go ahead. I'm just telling
No.
you why they're doing it.
Yeah, and then also because of the whole like Jonathan Majors like physical assault lawsuit, they want to I guess try to change him up with Doctor Doom. That's like a big comic book baddie. I guess. Yeah, I mean, and then from what from what I heard, I guess they're kind of like making Loki season 2 like basically the origin story of Kang, so they're kind of effed with that whole angle from what I've heard. And I mean, it's a lot of people are saying this, but it's true. It's the easiest recasting of all time. It's a villain based out of the multiverse. You could just pick like some other. It doesn't even have to be a black guy. Just someone. This is the point of the multiverse. It could be the same character, but it could look like whoever you want, right? I don't see the need to replace him with Doctor Doom or whatever. I mean, if that's been the plan the whole time, then yeah, I mean, I guess go with what you've been doing the whole time. But let's be real. Whenever a company or a studio says they've been doing this the whole time, rarely is that true. So,
No. Well, especially isn't there a movie called is it Avengers the King Dynasty or whatever? I don't know
oh
all
yeah,
the names.
yeah.
Like, sure you've been planning this. Sure you've been planning it. Isn't that whole movie supposed to be about just all the kings and the king, everything about him?
Hmm.
Um, I just feel like you said, it's an easy recast, but I mean, just CEOs just dropping the ball, man. Same with Kathleen Kennedy in charge of Star Wars. Like, just so many missed opportunities, man. Oh, I don't get me started on Star Wars, but I
Hmm.
just I think that like with the King thing, or is it Jonathan Majors? Is that what you
Yeah.
said his name is? I just feel like they are panicking. It's same with Johnny Depp. And I mean, I don't give someone a platform that's done terrible things. I agree with that, sure. But they just jump ship so fast. They're just like, "Oh, Johnny Depp has been accused of something. We better just dump him, just dump him." Oh, all of a sudden an all-female, reboot of Pirates of the Caribbean. Woohoo! It's that mentality that they just jump ship so fast. And same thing here. If he's a terrible guy, I don't want to see him. I don't really care. But just recast him. Like, what are you doing? Like billions and billion dollar franchise, and it just seems like they are gonna go the time travel. Oh, this guy sneezed, which knocked this guy off his path, and a fly got into the teleporter, and now we're in this alternate reality. And yeah, and now it's Doctor Doom, and Kang was really not that bad of a guy. And it just seems like I haven't seen the article, but it seems like that's what they're going to do, which is hilarious to me because, and that's why I started laughing when you mentioned Doctor Doom earlier. They had the Fantastic Four movie back in like the early 2000s, and they had Doctor Doom, and he was a joke. And now, like, they're gonna resurrect him as the new bad guy, and yeah, so I don't know.
And and if this is true, I feel like it would be a complete waste because from what I've heard from like after Avengers Secret Wars, they're going to reset the entire MCU and kind of reboot it. So I feel like if they do that, they'd have to throw away Doctor Doom immediately afterwards and not like flesh him out like Thanos or even Kang is already pretty fleshed out if you've seen him across Loki season 1, Ant-Man and Loki season 2.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like once you get big enough, it's kind of same with the Mr. Beast thing in a way. You kind of trip over yourself because of how much power you think you have, but at the end of the day, you're not invulnerable to making mistakes. And in my opinion, Marvel has made more mistakes in recent memory than triumphs. So yeah.
yeah. I just my take is I think that and it's kind of a I mentioned it last time. It's kind of a if you think about it, kind of like the line from the Joker. You either live long enough to see, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's how I kind of see this is like Marvel, they are planning, they're known for planning really far in advance, and it's good for them. And it was really good in the first, what was it, three phases of the four
Hmm.
phases, I don't know what they are, of the MCU. It was really good and they did an amazing job. But I feel like their problem is they don't know when to stop. Like at a certain point, the comics have only gone so far, and they kind of picked bits and bobs from all the comics anyways and created the MCU, which is fine. But I think the problem is not knowing when to stop. And like this can be, this can be related to other things like, Call of Duty Zombies. The perfect ending for Call of Duty Zombies was Black Ops 3, and spoiling it for people if you don't know already. Basically, the whole thing is, the characters play to a certain point and they get involved in the multiverse, and then there's this guy who really just sends them back to the beginning of the cycle, and they're just in a cycle. And to me, that's the perfect way to end it. But then you have Black Ops 4 and they break out of the cycle, and then everything changes. And then now you have the Modern Warfare universe, and it's all garbage. Like it's all trash because they tried to do what Marvel did and mesh it all together, and it just doesn't work. I mean, you have to know when to end a story is
Hmm.
would be my opinion. And same with anything. I love Rocky movies, but going to like Rocky Balboa, and like Rocky's boxing is like in his 70s, ended at Rocky 5. Like sure, people want more because they're so good, but more often than not, I think consumers are disappointed when you go too far. So
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of Rocky, I feel like Rocky in the Creed movies was one of the like legacy characters done right, because he was
yeah.
more of a mentor toward Creed. They had a history, but
Right, and that was a good take for him. I'm meaning like the
hmm
Rocky Balboa when he was like 70 or whatever, still
hmm
boxing. It doesn't really make sense. Good for him, and I hate to make that comparison. I couldn't really think of another because I love the Rocky movies and I love Rocky Balboa. But my point is, you just keep going and go. Okay, Fast and Furious, good example. First one was good. Second one was eh.
Hmm.
Third one was pretty good. Fourth one was good, really good, or whatever. And then now you're on 10, Fast X or whatever.
Hmm.
And it's just like they go to the moon or whatever. I still haven't seen it. It just, another good example, John Wick, you know,
Yeah.
John Wick 4, the ending of John Wick 4, perfect ending. But they're gonna keep going and they're
Hmm.
gonna, it's really hard once you kill off a character. If you keep going with that character, it's really hard to do it right. And I can't think of any times it's actually been done right personally. But
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, like up until the multiverse was introduced into Marvel's cinematic universe, I feel like Iron Man's death and Black Widow was fine, but now they're resurrected and they're alive again because of the multiverse. I feel like when you introduce the multiverse, like all stakes and like weight of death in your movies are like immediately gone. Because you can just pluck them out of this one over here and put him back over here. And I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
sorry.
yeah, I feel like um in a way that it was done right though is Spider-Man No Way Home. With like kind of rounding out Andrew Garfield's and Toby Maguire's Spider-Man just a little bit, right? They didn't really give him the spotlight of the movie, but it was definitely nice to see them again and kind of have their stories, like I said, rounded out, but not take up the whole screen of what Tom Holland's Spider-Man was doing. So yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like, like you mentioned the multiverse. Multiverse on paper, I think it's a cool concept and it's hard to do right. But if you bring up a multiverse, you have to be prepared to end it and keep it dead.
Hmm.
Because the multiverse, I think, is cool because in your mind, you can come up with all these different possibilities and like, what if they did this? And what if they did this? And what if they did this? But if you actually take a path, then you have to stick with it. And once you take a path, there's a million different paths it could have gone. And, it just comes off as lazy. And like I said, Black Ops 3, I think for me is the perfect example. Like it should have ended there. They kept it going. And, you got Black Ops 4, which is when it really started to take a nosedive. And now it's, whatever it is now. And it's garbage. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But to sum up my point, I think multiverses are lazy. They can be done right, but you have to end it. Like it has to like boom, multiverse, million different endings could be possible. You choose or whatever. But
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the only thing Marvel has done like spectacularly good is Loki in recent memory. I think that's the only thing that comes to mind, obviously, because it's going on right now. Next week is the season finale, but I don't know if you've watched any of that yet. But yeah, it's actually really cool. It's really weird, but it's cool. Yeah, definitely like it more than She-Hulk or Moon Knight. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think the ending of Loki season 1 was phenomenal. I really liked it. And and that was like a touch. It was a touch of the multiverse. Like that was like where they like, they're touching on it. And that to me is exciting. Um but yeah, it gets so it's so lazy and it's so done. Like it's done in 15 different franchises at this point. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, we'll see. I love the MCU, but it does look like they are just as screwed as the DCU at this point.
Yeah.
DCEU, I guess, whatever. But,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have another question.
all right.
What is something you'd never thought you'd be able to do until you actually did it?
I have a couple. The biggest one, I have like one real world and one like online internet one.
Hmm.
The real world one is so when I right when I was starting college, so I was just out of high school. I had my friends from my hometown, and we kind of started to migrate to it's like 40 miles away, which is actually where I live now, to a smaller city, I would say, with like a community college. And so I started going there, and my friends and would all start coming to hang out with me, and And what it really was they were hoping I would introduce them to college girls. Is kind
Hmm.
of how it went. And I know that because they said that, and I was dumb, and I was like, I should have just been like, get out of here. Like, if you don't want to hang out with me, go find your own friends.
Uh-huh.
And they kind of like implanted themselves in my college friend group, and it kind of blew up it blew up in a huge way. I won't talk about it here, but um, I'm not friends with someone because of that, which is
Hmm.
sad. But a childhood friend. But we met this really cool through my brother's girlfriend. We ended up marrying. We met this really cool girl, and she was a cheerleader, and she was gorgeous. Like, and
Hmm.
she, for whatever reason, she hung out with me and my friends a few times. But she was an instructor at a cheer school, I guess you could call it, like a private cheer school. And she was really nice, and she invited us to come for whatever reason. And I think it was really because she used to be like a really like I think she went to like worlds or nationals in cheerleading in high school, really good at it. And she wanted to like practice some stuff, but she didn't know. She was new to the area and she didn't know a lot of guys. And so me and my friends, I think that's how she really I think that's kind of how we actually got in with her, because she wanted guys to do like the stunning for her, like the guys in the background that like hold the cheerleaders up.
Hmm.
That's what we were doing. Like we would like throw her up into the air and try to catch her on one hand, and we weren't ever very good at it, but we were getting there. But one thing, long story, getting to my point, one thing she would do, it's called a standing tuck backflip. And I was like, man, that is so cool. I want to do a standing tuck. I want to do a backflip. And she coached me like she was coaching like little 6-year-old girls that could do what I couldn't do.
Hmm.
And I just remember, and I felt like the biggest idiot in the world. And she was like, all right, so just do it. And what they tell you, have you done a backflip? Have you ever attempted it?
No.
So what they tell you, which is just like the opposite of what you would think. You think that when you're going to do a backflip, you would just jump up and like twist back. But that's not how you do it. You're supposed to jump up straight as high as you can, and then you tuck your legs and you like hold your arms behind your legs, and it's that momentum, it's the shifting of your body's momentum that actually flips you around. But I didn't listen to her, and I was like, nah, uh, I wasn't even trying to like not listen to her. I just didn't believe it, or intuitively I just like tried to like. And so I go to do a standing tuck or a backflip, and I throw myself back, and I just land on my head and my neck, and my neck's actually really hurting right now. I don't know if you can tell, I'm sitting like a 70-year-old man. It's probably why it's hurting, 10 years later or whatever. But I just felt like the biggest idiot, dude. Like, it was like humiliating, and she was laughing, and my friends were all laughing, and she felt bad for me. She's like, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm
Hmm.
so sorry." She's like, "I shouldn't have pushed you to do it." And I'm like, "No, like, I want to do it. Like, I didn't do it right." Anyways, I kept trying, and there's like some baby steps you can do, like doing it off a ledge and having somebody like flip you in the air. And I finally did it, and it was the coolest thing, the coolest feeling. I don't even think I can do it now anymore. Like, I've thought about trying it a couple of times, but it's been so long, I would probably land on my head again, and it would be much worse for me now. But yeah, so doing a standing tuck, aka backflip. And then me and my friends thought we were cool, and we would do this stunt where one would like run towards the other one, and they would put their foot in your hands like cradled, and you would throw them up, and we'd do a backflip. And we got really good at that, but again, I can't do any of it anymore. My friend group kind of broke up, and we just like she moved away, and we didn't do it anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
Um. Yeah, I have one thing. It's not something that I've like taken into reality quite yet, if you want to call it that. Um. Yeah, like growing up, I had actually I still have a lot of social anxiety, and I wasn't really much of a talker. Still really am not, but kind of strange because I started a podcast with you, but now that's coming out of my mouth. But yeah, no. So like pretty much ever since like 20, 2016, 2017, I started to write down like lyrics and music and stuff, and um, that is something that I eventually want to do is write and produce my own music. I think that would be awesome. I have a lot of things that I want to say that I can't quite put into words like just a normal conversation, and I just kind of learned after like writing for a few years now that it's actually something that I'm really good at, and because I've shown a few people over the years and they think it's all really good, but yeah, and now it's just about kind of putting it actually into a song. I thought about trying to release a song before I move, but I don't want to like rush it and have it come out where I just hate it and now it's on the internet forever, you know. So, um, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now with that. I don't know. That's the only thing that kind of came to mind when I got that question. Yeah, honestly, that's about it for me. Not really a great answer, but yeah.
No, no, that's good. I look forward to seeing your song, hearing your song.
Yeah, maybe.
When you get it, when you get them done, you're gonna be the next Ren.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
could be the Ren of country music, man. You could just bring those rhymes out.
The red of country music. I don't think so.
uh, um, yeah, the second part of mine kind of goes along with yours. Just like starting on the internet, it was something. From a small town. Like I don't talk to very many people. I've only had a few friends. So kind of the same with you. You're doing a podcast where like you really anytime you're putting something out on YouTube or whatever, you're putting yourself out there to be mocked by the internet. And so that's something I kind of going along with you. I'm really shy. Never thought I'd be able to do like consistently and like keep doing it, but I've been, I streamed for a few years, haven't really done that. YouTube channel for a few years, haven't really kept up with that. But we've been doing it for not quite a year. Well, actually, we're quite a ways off from a year, I think, but
Since
we're
about
like
May.
half a year. We're like half a year, yeah. So it's been really cool to me to see like my own character development because I don't sweat it anymore. Like I would just be
Yeah.
drenched like at the end of an episode, like oh my gosh, like ooh that was tough. But and now it's just like once you get over that initial, and it's like that with anything. My current my not to get too off in the weeds here, my current instructor with my programming class that I'm in absolutely terrifies me. Like the first couple of encounters I've had with this person, just like humiliating, like just probably not even trying to be that way, but like that's how I took it.
Mhm.
And so like my whole 16 weeks in this thing with this person has been just terrifying to me because I don't want to talk with the person. I don't want to meet the person because they are not afraid to put me on the spot and be like, well, show me how to do this. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And they would just be like, show me. Come on, start typing. Like, and just sitting like this in a Discord call with them watching. And I mean, life's like that. Like, you just got to start doing something. But my point is, I never thought I would be doing a podcast with, a good friend that I've made on the internet over the years. We've never met in real life. And I have a few
Mhm.
friends like that I've made just on the internet. But yeah, just everything. Just put in the internet for my answer.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Well, do you have anything to fill in the couple more minutes?
Hmm. Did we talk about Call of Duty? Just kidding. Um, no, I wish I did. My For those who don't know, I'm in a class right now. I'm almost done, so I feel like I should by the next couple of weeks have more time to research topics. Riley does a lot of the brunt work on the podcast, so props to him. I'm just kind of here most of the time. I don't want to admit it, but I'm the one that does the thumbnails, and so Riley does most of the work. So I'm looking forward to having more time to do research. And we were talking before the podcast about ways that we can make the podcast better for the listeners. So we're really excited. I don't have anything else at this point,
Okay.
but we do have. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to say anything, but we do have hopefully a big surprise for you guys in a
Hmm.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Um, we're both really excited about it. So.
Yeah, definitely.
we're planning for something big. So.
Yeah. Hope. Shoot. Let's see.
It'd be like a
1, 2, 3.
less than a month, right?
It won't be quite episode 30 like I thought it would, but it'll be around there. So yeah, a few weeks.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So
But yeah.
excited. I've been looking up things for that.
Okay.
So that's all I'll say. We can talk about it after, but yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been the Couch Co-op. We appreciate all you for the regulars out there. If you have something to say, you want to come on to the podcast, let us know. We'd love to have anyone and everyone on. We love talking to people. So thank you for everything. Make sure you like, subscribe. And this has been Cal and Riley with Couch Co-op. We'll see you in number 28.
All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.